Hello, everyone. How are you? Let me get myself together here. I'm so close. Oh, wow. How are you? How are you? How are you? Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is the TERRAN Lamp Show, episode number 73. Oh, my goodness. I always thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is another episode of the TERRAN Lamp Show, episode number 73. Before I forget, I want to remind you to make sure you're here as well next week. It is my birthday episode, so I'm going to have all you guys on and celebrate my birthday with me. So feel free to bring a beverage, a fruity beverage, if you'd like. And we are going to celebrate my birthday for my birthday episode next week. Next week, Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. So let's get started. I want to, let's see if I can pin. I've always been pinning my Cash App, because if you haven't, let's see, Cash App, how does that work? I forgot how that works. Is it this? I forgot. I think it's that. I hope. Is that how it works? I can't remember. Let me see. Hold, please. Robin. Hello. Bam. I hope you come in. Bam.
I don't hear anything.
There you are.
Okay. I it was cut off. The connection was bad. I said, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? Is my internet not working?"
You know, it was me, because what I do is, and I couldn't remember because I don't use it very often. I put my Cash App on the pin. I put it on the show because I take
Hmm.
just kind offerings, no 501c3, anything fancy. And people, what I do is when they donate to my Cash App, I take it to where I get treated for my cancer and heart disease, and then I secretly pay off someone's bill. So I could not remember what my Cash App was, because I only use it for that purpose. So I had to go back and figure out what it was and how to write it, because I haven't figured out how to write it yet. So you guys,
See,
that,
mine is just my name. I
yeah,
can never forget that.
what is it? So that is my Cash App, guys. I'll end on the comments. And what I do with that is, like I said, please feel free to donate a kind offering. I take what's donated there, and take it directly to a cancer or heart disease patient. It is no 501c3, nothing fancy, good old fashioned love from me to them, from you to them.
Yeah,
Put Fiverr in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Really, truly appreciate it. Robin. How are you today?
Taryn. I'm great. Thank you.
I know you have an event to be to, so we will get started. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
joining me today. I truly, truly appreciate it. I appreciate all my guests, and I know everybody comes to me out of volunteer and out of love. Most people don't know me from a can of paint, so I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate you sharing with us your love and your talent, and what you do. So let's go ahead and get started and share with us a little about Robin and what you do, your journey.
Okay, so I'm in the hospitality industry in Las Vegas. When COVID hit, we were furloughed for about 4 months, and so instead of sitting around being bored, I made a decision to finish writing a book that I had started back in '09.
All right.
So it started out to be a standalone, and it ended up being a series. So
Okay.
it's called the Seasons series. It's a trilogy, and it is a contemporary suspenseful fiction trilogy. Fiction, yeah, and it's basically about all of my life experiences and friends. It's a culmination of me, friends, and people that I've interacted with over the decades, and I just decided to create a story out
Wow.
of boredom.
So,
Hmm.
so, first of all, someone says, is it Belkis? Am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, Belkis, that's my coworker. Hi,
Hi,
Belkis.
my beautiful Robin, she says. Um,
Oh,
so
thank you.
thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Please remember to like, follow, share, all that good stuff. And so tell me, Robin. So when you did, so it was like, okay, pandemic. What else am I gonna do? I mean, that's still a big
Yeah,
deal. Like, it's still a big deal to say I'm gonna write a trilogy. You know, like that's still like it's
yeah.
not just like, oh yeah, I don't have anything else to do. Let's just write a trilogy. You know what I mean? It sounds like a big undertaking. So tell me a little bit about
Right.
maybe what was going through your mind, maybe some obstacles, because it is. I mean, you know, you just kind of said, let me re-pick this back up and get started in the pandemic, but it's kind of like a big
Hmm.
deal. So how did you?
Right. Right. As I mentioned, it was supposed to be a standalone,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of know what it takes to go through through a traditional publisher.
Okay.
So, because I did a lot of research back in '09, and so I discovered since then, oh my gosh, you can self-publish through Amazon. So it was supposed to be a standalone. So when I went to upload my manuscript on KDP, which is a company of Amazon, it said, "Oh, is this a series?" And I said, "Oh, a series?" I
Hmm.
said, "Maybe. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let me make it a series." Because again, I was furloughed for 4 months. I really had nothing to do. And so I just created the series. And every day, I mean, I probably wrote for like 12 hours a day. I completed this series in 4 months. Yeah. So you wanted me to tell you what the story was about?
No. I just kind of want to tell
Oh,
what's maybe some of the obstacles that got in your way. I mean, I'm just imagining that's a mind obstacle. You just mentioned you did it for 12 hours a day, so that's a physical.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Is it?
Right.
Jill says a huge deal and her passion, right? That's what I'm saying, Jill. Like you
Yeah, I am very passionate about it.
deal. So what obstacles might have came in your way? Because I'm imagining, like I said, an emotional, spiritual, who knows, you know?
Yeah, at the time, not too much was really going through my head. I just wanted to do it.
Okay.
I wanted to do it in '09, and like I said, I put it away, and then I said, oh my gosh, I think I really want to do this. So, of course, you have to think about, formatting your manuscript. You have to make sure you get everything copyrighted. I had to get a cover designer, so I went to
Mm.
Fiverr, which is an amazing website. They have everything that you need on Fiverr.
Okay.
Anything that you need, they do it. So I went there because someone suggested it to me. So I found a graphic artist who was amazing. He lives in Sri Lanka. So, there's a big time zone difference, but everything was through
Mhm.
email. So I expressed to him how I wanted the covers, and he did basically everything that I wanted. So the obstacle for me was the technical side.
Oh.
I'm not very tech savvy. I'm very creative when it comes to telling a story, but the
Mhm.
technical part is what was the most challenging for me. But I got over it. I did it. I actually wrote 4 books. After I finished the trilogy, I wrote a standalone Breaking the Curse. So that's on the books too.
Do you want to tell us what? I mean, I know you mentioned a little bit about what the trilogy was about, but do you want to tell us a little bit more, or what the standalone is about, or can you tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and just to back up just a few seconds, the trilogy seasons is about basically it's about three people who met, became friends, travel the world, create businesses, and some karma's mixed in, some
Mm.
greed is mixed in, and they're just living their best lives.
Okay.
So it's a lot of juice in between. And they live here in Vegas, by the way.
Okay.
Now, Breaking the Curse, and this series is a fun read. Breaking the Curse is about two girls who grew up together, best friends from elementary through college, reunited 10 years after graduating.
Mm.
Both girls lived in very broken homes,
Mm.
very dysfunctional homes, but they overcame it and became very successful in their careers. And this book just kind of talks about how they grew up and what they're doing now. And there's a lot of drama and suspense in that as well.
So there's drama in that one.
Both. Yeah, there's drama in both.
Okay.
Suspense and drama in both. My favorite subjects are suspense and drama.
So we gotta read it. It's gonna be have us hanging on the edge of our seat, right?
Absolutely. They are definitely page turners. And each book, like the trilogy, ends with a cliffhanger. There's no cliffhanger on the standalone, just a cliffhanger in the series.
And do you the people that they're about, are they people that they're about that may know who they're about?
No.
Okay.
Every single character is fictitious. I literally made them up in my mind the day I wrote about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody's
and just so you know, in the series, it starts off with 3 characters. It ends up with over 32. So I made up all of those characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
No. With one exception. One exception.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah. In the season series, someone's getting married, and I wanted to mention Belkis because Belkis is a phenomenal makeup artist. Okay. And there's a couple of people personally that are in the book because I have pictures of some of the characters, but I wanted to mention Belkis, and so I talked about her making up one of the characters' face at the wedding. So, people that live here in Vegas, when they read that book, they'll know who I'm talking about because the actual quote says so-and-so is getting her face beat by Belkis. Oh. So, yeah, people who know me and know her would know who that is.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So no real big obstacles other than, like you said, the technical part. And how did you find yourself getting over that?
Whew, that's a long story. So, with the first book, Seasons, I met another author, and we decided to kind of like get to know each other, so to speak. He reached out to me on Facebook and said, "Hey, we should buy each other's books because we both published around the same time." And I said, "Yeah, okay." And so we met, and once we got each other's books, we kind of looked it over, and he actually told me, he said, "Sis, this is not a book." That was the first draft that I published in July. He said, "Sis, this is not a book." And I was like, oh my God. He's like, "You need to add more detail. You need to do this. You need to do that." He helped me with the formatting. He did a lot. He actually he really showed me what I needed to do. So I took it off the market and I re-edited it. I added to, and I republished it in September. So technically, if it weren't for him, I would have been a hot ass mess. One second.
I see you. Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I would have been a hot ass mess. Had that first edition gone through, oh yeah. People would not have even taken me seriously.
So so that's what you learned, right? Like you learned.
Oh yeah. Big lesson. I learned a lot from him.
You will.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that in the credits, in the acknowledgments.
So you took that and what you learned into the next ones you wrote.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Was that something that you were like, when he told you that, were you like, what? Like, no, this is great.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. I'm open to all constructive criticism.
Okay.
I believe in constructive criticism. If you don't have it, how can you grow?
Yeah.
I mean,
when you think about your story and you think about it being, you kind of had it probably in your mind one way. And then when he kind of came in and said, "Hey, you need to, maybe redo this," and almost like a puzzle, you put it back together. Probably took it apart, then need to put back together. And then in the midst of that, it sounds like helped you with some of those technical, things that were.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
What advice would you give for someone who's maybe, considering this, right? Like I don't know if people, it's not pandemic downtime, but what advice would you give someone who's interested in maybe writing a book, or B, even having this consideration of writing a trilogy?
Right. I did have a couple of people that reached out to me asking for help. Again, I told them about Fiverr. I explained to them they need to understand formatting your manuscript. You got to get it copyrighted. You got to make sure you properly edit it. Um, Also, I can say one of the biggest pieces of advice that I probably didn't take to myself is you got to make sure the cover matches the manuscript. I
Mm.
had my own concept of how I wanted my covers to look, and I was dead set on it. No one was going to be able to change my mind about how these covers are going to be.
Ah.
So with the trilogy, the covers, that's just what I had in my head. By the time I did the standalone Breaking the Curse, I think I pretty much got the cover matching the story.
That's a good point. I guess I
Hmm.
would have thought to make my just whatever. I mean, not whatever, but I think to match the story, I never would have thought about it in that way. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I mean, sometimes a cover can just basically tell you what the story's about,
okay.
you know? And I kind of had mine designed because I didn't want the cover to tell you what the story was about.
Mm.
So I know that seems kind of weird, but that's that's where my mind was at the time. But again, by the time I got to Breaking the Curse, I wanted the cover to match the story, and I think I did a good job of that.
So you're saying,
I mean, I've had other people help me along the way. I've met so many amazing people on Facebook. I have this one great friend named Yash. He lives in India. I think he's written about 5 books by now, and I think and he's only 17 years old. Yeah.
wow.
I know. He's amazing. He's designed blurbs for me. Like I know my Facebook friends are probably so tired of me posting all the time, but he did most of them. 90% of the blurbs that I'm posting online were designed by him.
Oh, okay. Now you're saying back to the cover. You're saying it's probably best that your cover does match your story, is what you're
Oh,
saying.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um.
Because it's the same thing in culinary. We say people eat with their eyes.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, of course, when you walk in a room and you smell the aromas, you're like, oh my God, it smells amazing in here, and you can't wait to dig in. It's the same thing, but people generally eat with their eyes. Same thing when people are in a bookstore or when they see a
That's
book, they want to be intrigued by the cover first, and then they'll turn it over to the back and read the synopsis. Now, the synopsis is the most difficult thing to write, harder than the book
mm, okay.
because the synopsis is just supposed to give you a sweet little tidbit preview. You don't want to say too much, but you got to say enough to grab and capture their interest. That's very difficult.
That sounds challenging because you want to give them a little bit, but not a lot. Belkis says,
Hmm.
what about in writing the book? The thoughts, the energy, persuasions, motivations.
Life in general, all the experiences that I've had in life is what
Mhm.
motivated me or what inspired me to write the books. What's motivating me to write these books is that, you know how they say you got to have more than one stream of income to make it in this
Yeah.
country? Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, money was a motivator. I mean, my dream job would have been to be a movie director. When I
Mhm.
was in college, I majored in radio, TV, film. So my goal, my dream was to be a movie director. So yeah, somewhere in the back of my head, I was like, I want these books to be a movie. These books can be a movie, and it reads like a movie. Most people are telling me that it reads like a movie. So
So is
goal
that
accomplished.
could be next? You could be turning it into a movie.
That is definitely a goal. It just has to get in the right hands. I've just had many people respond to me saying that the book read like a movie. At least
Okay.
that's how they felt. They
Mhm.
felt it was like a movie. So yeah, that's a goal.
Because when
And
you,
you know what? Books don't have expiration dates.
that's right.
They don't have expiration dates. So even if 5, 10, 20 years from now, someone reads my books,
Mhm.
they can make it into a movie. So
Right. And that often happens, right? Like
absolutely.
that often happens. Sometimes, I mean, it's not like you read them immediately and the next thing they're a movie. That can happen at any given,
Absolutely.
you know,
Uh-huh.
and people's
Hmm.
stories
Yeah.
happen at different
Hmm.
times. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I was just wondering. I was like, oh, is that something that you know, would put out there in the aura, in the lands, if you will,
Oh
and you would,
yeah.
you know, what about the fourth book?
That one reads like a movie as well.
Okay.
I put my heart into this one just as much as I did the series. Again, every character is made up.
Mhm.
I had fun. One of the common denominators of all four of these books is there's a lot of travel. And I forgot
Oh,
to mention that because during COVID, we couldn't travel.
there's Yash.
Most people, oh, hi, Yash. You know what? My words are not, anyway, my words are not scrolling up. But anyway, yeah, we couldn't travel. So because we couldn't travel, that's why I delved into so much travel. In every chapter, they go somewhere. The
Okay.
series, they travel all over the world by private jet. In Breaking the Curse, they just travel first class, but there's travel in every chapter.
I love travel
And I
too.
try
So
to pick places that people really, really, really want to go.
yeah,
Hmm.
and that's your characters want to go. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So tell me a
Yeah.
bit about. We talked about this yesterday about, you know, you're building community with your books, right? Um, Yash
Hmm.
says, "Hi, Robin and Taryn. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us."
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about building community with your book and how that's going. How are your, you know, bringing people together? You
So
mentioned to me yesterday. I'm gonna hope you're gonna mention. If not, I'm gonna ask you about it again.
I'm sorry, you were cut off. Can you just say that again?
I said you said something to me yesterday. I'm going to see if you mention it on your own. If not, I'm going to ask you about it again that I thought was really interesting. Do you remember?
No, but I know what I kind of want to say about community. But um, again, when I first wrote the books, it was during pandemic. Of course, I wanted to do a book signing at Barnes and Noble or
Huh?
maybe some of the local bookstores, but no one was doing it because of the pandemic. I was hitting a brick wall every time I attempted to gather for a book signing. And so I just kind of gave up on it. But being that I come from a smaller town, Las Vegas is kind of small. I wanted to give, even though we're one of the most popular cities of the world, I still wanted to kind of really sort of put us on the map literary wise. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For the people who like to read, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to give them this light, like, because all my characters, they live in Vegas. They're living their best lives right here in Vegas. So people who don't read, I wanted to inspire them to maybe pick up the book and see how delighted they would be. And people who do read, they'll be like, wow, I didn't know you had all that in you. And that's usually mostly primarily the response that I did get from people who did get back in touch with me about the books, friends and strangers. I met a lot of people through these books too.
I think that's good that you're inspiring people who may not want to, who may not normally read, to read, you know, to get
And
into
that
it.
was the reason that I made it into audiobook. my
Okay.
cousin, my cousin who lives in North Carolina, she's so supportive of me. But when I told her I wrote the book, she's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." She said, "Oh, but I don't read. My eyes are bad and all that." I said, "Okay, here's audio." So people who don't, maybe they're tired from their job, looking at
Mm-hmm.
a computer all day, and they just kind of want to multitask and listen while they're cleaning or whatever. I made it available as audio, and the narrator is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, great.
She's amazing. So when you go on to Amazon to
Mm-hmm.
look at the books, you can listen to a sample reading so you can get a gist of how the story goes.
You
So that was a
mentioned
plus.
you mentioned yesterday. This is what I was going to tell you. You mentioned that I thought was great. You mentioned originally, or maybe not originally, but at one point you know, you started to realize, you know what, men are going to read this too.
Oh, yeah. So I wrote these books with women in mind because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a woman. I don't really know what it's like to be a man. But surprisingly, men are enjoying these books. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So it makes me realize I got to keep men in mind too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it started out with women in mind, I got to keep the men included. So that's something else I've learned. You want to keep, in other words, people say all money is green or whatever, but I want everybody's money. I don't want to just have women's money, or I don't want to just have black people's money or white people's money. I want all the money. So so I want to entertain and intrigue men as well as I do women. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I mean, it's primarily focused on from a woman's perspective, but men can enjoy the story too, because
Yeah,
I get a lot of feedback from men.
I think that's interesting. Yash said the audiobooks are awesome. And I think he's
Thank
laughing
you.
at us talking about the men want to read this book too. And,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's interesting though, right? I think that's something you were, when you thought out it was going to come
Hmm.
one way, right? Like you thought, oh, this
Hmm.
is going to be a woman's book. Women are going to like it. And then when she started thinking, you started noticing like, oh, there's men that read this too.
Hmm.
And let's not forget about them as part of our audience, because sometimes,
Absolutely.
to your point, we probably
Hmm.
write towards maybe our own, gender's point of view or whatever. I'm not sure how that works,
Yeah.
but I
Point of
just,
view. Uh-huh.
yeah, we write from our point of view, if you will, and we forget there's
Hmm.
another point of view that's, the opposite sex. So, and now they're also enjoying it as well for whatever reason, right?
Hmm.
Maybe they're
Hmm.
they're clearly reading it from what they see it for, but we can't forget about them. Um,
Right. And
for
another note to bring up, not only did I figure out I need to kind of, I don't know, project a men's point of view, Breaking the Curse also has a taboo subject. It has reverse harem.
Okay. Oh,
I, do you know what reverse harem is?
I can imagine. I think I know.
You can imagine. Okay. So I just learned about reverse harem this year, 2021. Or I don't know, whenever let me see. I can't remember when I published Breaking the Curse. Had to have been this year. Yeah, I just learned about it when I was writing when I started to create Breaking the Curse. Reverse harem is simply a female
Hmm.
who has three or more sexual partners with and unapologetically. Just that's what men do. A
Hmm.
lot of men have more than one partner and they do it without apology, and that's just what they do. So this is what women are doing these days. So I thought that was an interesting topic, and so I made one of my characters have that lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. And Yash is going back to Yash. He's saying, are the characters loosely based of people in your life?
I know a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll say yes, and that's it. I'm just gonna say yes.
Yash, she says yes. But the rest of
Yeah,
it, we got to figure out for ourselves.
that's right. Yeah, and this is pure entertainment. This is for entertainment purposes only.
I'm scrolling up to make sure I don't have anything. Yeah, Belka says this is true. Yash says yes this year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was saying. Maybe he was saying he learned about this year. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's so interesting. I think it's interesting that you thought you were going to write one, then you ended up
Hmm.
writing
Hmm.
three to the one, then you ended up writing
Hmm.
more. So I think
Hmm.
that's that's all like interesting and fun. And then you're like, it takes a lot of work. Um,
It
Bill,
does.
laugh out loud. I will try to figure out who they are.
No, no one. Who said that? Who said that?
Jill,
Who said that?
Jill.
Oh, no. And then of course it does take a lot to write a book. I don't even know if people realize how much it takes, but I do have one more. It's called Neighbors, Friends, and Enemies, and Yash is actually designing the cover for that book
Oh,
for me. Yeah, so I'm
and
excited about that. I just haven't started it yet. I'm just a little tired.
Belkis asked, how long did it take you to write each book?
So the trilogy, trilogy, I wrote it in 4 months. I'm telling you, I was just nose to the grindstone.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 6 months to write Breaking the Curse, only because I had just been diagnosed with the breast cancer so it kind of slowed me down,
Hmm.
you know, and I just, you
Yeah,
know,
we're at it
it
though.
just took, yeah, yeah. I kept at it as much as I could, considering the fact that I was doing chemo and radiation. But
Yeah.
I was determined to finish it. So I think I started it in January, and no, I'm lying. It took me 9 months. No, or was it 6? I think I think I didn't publish it until September.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't publish it until September. So I think it took me a little longer. I wrote it in 6 months and then I took the extra time to edit it.
Okay.
So,
So let's see. We got Jill saying the books, I'm sure, were a great distraction, and Belka saying you are a fighter. So we are 1 minute over. I know
mhm.
it goes so fast. We are 1 minute over.
Yes.
I know, but I have a question. And so for anybody who's been watching for a little bit of time, you know that one of my favorite topics on earth is my cats. I have cats. I rescue cats. I love cats. So this is a surprise question that I try to ask every guest when I can remember. We all know curiosity, and the cats, that whole situation. So Robin,
Mhm.
what are you curious about?
Ooh. Um, wow, that's a great question. I wish you had asked me that in the text.
I would
So I could
love
have,
It's a surprise question for everybody who gets it.
what am I curious about?
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
you got it. I have
Okay, all I can say is I'm curious to know if these books will one day be a movie. That's all I can say.
We all want
That's
it to
all I
be,
can say.
right, guys? We're all rooting for
Yeah.
you. We're all standing behind you. We are
Thank you. I
all
appreciate that.
behind you.
I
Well,
have a cat. I was gonna try to pull her up, but she left the room. Her name is Isle. She's has the two colors. Her, one side is light and one side is dark. She's really cute.
Jill says we love cats, and I do too.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm rescuing them. That's a whole story in itself.
I
We'll
rescued mine. I rescued mine.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So we are at
Mhm.
8:02, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining me. This is the Taryn Lamb Show, episode number 73. Make sure you are liking the page, following the page, sharing the page. We are here every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for you guys on the West Coast, that's 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. The Cash App is in that bottom pinned. Real quick, it's going to disappear when we go off. But if you'd like to donate to heart disease and cancer survivors' bills, it's a kind donation. It's not anything official 501c3. Just please put survivor in the comments. I take whatever I raise from that Cash App and go pay a patient's bill. We got a chance to pay a patient's bill about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We anonymously paid off a heart disease and cancer patient's bill from just the money
Wow.
that I've raised in that Cash App. Please make sure you put
Wow.
survivor in the comments. Yeah, that's just we're bonded there too, Robin. So you know
Yes.
I just try to do that. I use the shows. That's my kind of way to give back from the show. And I
Mhm.
take the money donated from the Cash App and I can go directly to where I'm treated and actually say, pay. I don't have to worry about
Mhm.
any blah, blah, blah in between. I follow my HIPAA guidelines because I completely understand that. But luckily or
Mhm.
unluckily, they know me so well there that they
Mhm.
know what to do. I say
What
pay,
you're there to do. Absolutely.
swipe the card, and it's done. So it's just something I've been doing, and anybody who wants to donate to the Cash App right there, please make sure you do so. Kind offering, and put survivor in the comments. Make sure you come back next Tuesday because next Tuesday is my birthday episode. So
Oh,
I know. So I'm just going to be inviting everybody into my birthday party.
nice.
Please feel free
Nice.
to come with a fruity beverage of your choice, and
Mhm.
you can, yeah, I'll just leave that there. It can be whatever you choose to be. It can have anything in it that you want to have in it. And I'm just going to take people in and celebrate my birthday with everybody that comes on the show. So Robin, I want to say thank you so much for your time and your talents. I know you got to go to an event, so I'm going to let you go. Call me when you get a chance. And thank you everyone for joining us. Robin, be good to yourself, and everybody be good to yourself and each other.
Thank you, TERRAN. Love, much love.
Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.